A sponge filter with media. Let's take a look. Okay, here's the box. Nice large size, 1 year warranty. Super quiet and more delicate bubbles. Okay, well that was one of the problems with normal sponge filters. I mean, they guggle, don't they? Mechanical and biological, that's good. Increase dissolve oxygen and cultivate bacteria easily. Double ribbing, blah, 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 blah. Application. Okay, so 1 to 3 watt. Okay, well we're going to put something a little bit bigger through that. We're going to put the 5 watt one I showed earlier. Up to 20 gallons. Okay. And this is the medium, so there is a small version. Okay, so let's open it up. Let's get it out. Okay. Oh yeah, this is quite a lump, I must admit. Get rid of all the debris. So when you get a sponge filter, a lot of people say, oh, they don't work properly or this, that and the other. The problem is a lot of people don't know how to set these up. That's a big old sponge, look at that. Okay. I actually done, if you have a look on my channel, I'll put a link in the at the end of the video. I've done the powered version of this, which was quite a good successful one actually. I quite enjoyed that. These suckers are huge, look at that. Yeah, I like them. Meter. Well, we've got to try it out, haven't we? Okay, which is cool. So, how easy is it to set up? I always worry about the plastics they use in these. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Because a lot of plastics on the cheaper versions of these things, I'm not saying this is cheap, but I don't think it's cheap. I mean, the quality of that's quite cool, but they're very UV reactive, so when you have a light or anything like that, they tend to get a bit crappy. I noticed something. So in here is more sponges, which is cool. They do this with the mechanical one version as well. I'll put a link to that one because it's a really good watch, that one. That's cool, I like that. That's a big old lump though. I might actually get a tape measure and have a look at that because that's quite huge. What we're going to do, normally I would, oh look, of course I can't get it off now, can I? Normally I would wash the media. But for this, I just want to see how much media in here. So, I'm going to use my human scissors. Just open the bag. And then we're going to go. Now, look, do you know what? Why I think this is such a good evolution and probably a better way of doing things throughout is because this can come from an old filter, this stuff, and when you're cleaning the filter, you can take that off and wash it in normal tap water, put it back on, and this is where all the bacteria is going to be held. I mean, this gets cultivated anyway. I mean, what you could probably do is just swap out the sponge and leave that where it is, but the good thing about this is that you've got your biomedia in here, which is important. Okay, so let's get the lids back on before I start chucking it all over myself. Funny story, I actually done that in a customer's house once, so wasn't my fault, but I was trying to explain to him how to empty it out and I went like that and poured it all over the floor. Anyway, so the airline's going to go on there, so let me get a bit of airline. Let's get some airline. So with airline or any kind of filter, here we go. So I've got this set up. So when you've got airline like this and you can't get it on, it's like hard to get on, just breathe down it and you'll find that it will go on a little bit easier. It's actually quite stiff on there though, I'm not happy about that. Might have to warm it up with some warm water. Because you obviously want to get it down quite a bit, because the pressure of the air is what's going to, yeah, pressure with the air is actually going to cause that to pop off, I think. I might have to get another length. Okay, let me see if I can get on. I'm going to tip it up with some hot water and see what happens. Okay, that really took a lot of effort, and I had to take this tube out to do it. I mean, obviously you can just put that back in like this. Okay, but that really did take a lot, which is a good thing really, because obviously you don't want it to be loose on there, because that would be pointless. Now with O-rings you can always put a bit of grease around them or make them a little bit wet, and that is going to go on there like so. That pushes down. There you go. I like that. Let me give you some dimensions. Okay, so we have a sponge height of about 8 in total, which I believe is 21 centimeters. Okay, and they're about 6 centimeters, which is 2.5 inches. Standard pipe length is going to be the same, which is about 23 centimeters there, 9-inch. But how far can we go? I would say that's probably the max you're going to want to go. So you can go 14 inches or 36 centimeters, which is quite a lot. That's a phenomenal amount of. And these, remember, put these in water, roll them out like that, pull them apart a bit, yeah. But then when you put them in water, they will naturally open up, because at the moment they look, I'll show you that, maybe in a slow-mo, slow-mo. Okay, let's get it wet. Okay, so what I've done, this is from a previous test, it's a well seasoned sponge filter, and this is the new one with the biomedia, everything in. Now remember, when you put them in the water, squeeze these out until no air bubbles come out. Okay, that's to make them work properly. Now I haven't put it right down to the bottom, but I'm going to just put it there so the nozzle's cut, because obviously it's going to be air, so it's going to make a lot of noise. Okay, well, without further ado, I think we should turn it on. 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's quite gentle. Let's turn the air pump right the way up. Now that is the problem with air filters. I'm going to show you the difference between that and that. Okay. You're going to get a lot of guggling from these. Now my personal one, I'll show you in the link to the description, yeah, of the mechanical version of this. So there's one that's actually powered by a pump, which is far superior, much better, and I'll show you that in a minute. So yeah, I mean, it is moving a lot of water. Let's see how far you can pull this out of the water. So yeah, I mean, it's a sponge filter. It's doing exactly what sponge filters do. It's glugging a hell of a lot though. I'm not sure that people would want that noise going on. Let's turn this off. That's a lot quieter, isn't it? Yeah. See that? Okay. So I think if you've got a single outlet, let me try this. Single outlet. Much better. Much better. So you want a single outlet airline for this, okay? I think that's a bit too powerful. Let me try some little mods on it and see if this works. If it works, I'll show you what I've done. Okay. So what's making that a little bit more quiet? That is a single outlet air pump. Mainly a Whisper 150 from Tetra, and that's a lot quieter. Obviously it won't pump as high, and that's when it starts gurgling. So personally I would get the motorized version, but that is good because you can literally see the tank in seconds using old media. Okay, let's do the pros and cons. Okay, pros and cons. I'm going to do the pros first because people are probably going to argue about this, but first of all, this is a sponge filter on steroids. It not only has the sponge, it gives you spare sponges in here that open up, Okay, so literally what you can do, and what I would advise when you're doing one of these, is don't clean them at the same time. Okay, take one off, put a new one on, clean it, leave that one, week later do the same, or maybe 2 weeks later, because your biomedia, your actual bacteria is coming from here. Build quality is good. I like the idea of this, although it does get more noisy. This was a good, I like this. Most people just have the tube run down here. It's kind of fiddly to get on, so this was a good added bonus. Although that was tight to get on, you could take this off, no problem. Suckers are fantastic. Not sure how long they're going to last on this though. But all in all, a 1 from me. I think it gets my thumbs up, to be honest. Cons. You know, they do a powered version of one of these, which runs off a USB. That trumps this. It makes virtually no noise, and I mean no noise. I'll link a video in the description, okay? So you can have a look at that one. The good thing is they're interchangeable, so in theory you could actually do that. So that's the only con. The only con I can see, I mean, it does guggle a bit, but all of these are going to guggle. You're not going to get a quiet sponge filter. That doesn't exist. You can get ones that bubble less, but that's not the point. And I would run it on something like 150 litres an hour, not much more than that, purely based on the fact that 605 was blowing it out of the water. So literally a low single, something like a Tetra 150, like I said in there, would be perfect for this. But it still gets my thumbs up because as it stands, it's a cheap variant, but the quality is fantastic. So, and it's built well. I mean, all right, yeah, it can move around, but who cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Thumbs up, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.